Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and it's a different voice they're hearing for the first time, but I apologize, I've just ended school, but now I'm back. Grand Finals, map number 2. Control, you've been here the entire day, but we're already on Dust 2, so not a lot of time to look at what happened on Nuke, but yeah, quick thoughts.
Man, quick thoughts. It's honestly, I don't even know what to say. First of all, because Camels are playing on 100 ping. They're from United Arab Emirates. Second of all, it's crazy that they actually managed to win. We went into 2 overtimes and asking questions. I think they're starting to get a bit tired. You know, they played 3 maps previously.
Yeah, indeed, right? And you can see now, this is just the pistol, so a lot of it kind of hinges on line, right? Asking questions, you definitely do want the win to at least, you know, try and get a bit of that kind of puckiness out of Nuke. But Camels with Misty out in pit will be good for 2. 3 on 2 though, asking questions now with the man advantage. They're still gonna play out in towards middle. That's gonna be ins. Bombs can get dropped over. And they should secure the plant ins, so this Lurk should be able to get the play from behind. There we have it.
Nice. All right, after a bit of a break, asking questions seem to be back in the game. Of course, Nuke was Camels' map pick, so I think maybe that's something to be expected that they would win that map, but now in a 3v1, I don't see Bockley coming out of that alive. Of course, Caramel holding the angle will be able to get the headshot. I mean, yeah. First of all, welcome back, everyone. We are your casters. Hey, I'm Quack, and this is the co-caster that I was talking about. He has the Skybox segments. He has the incredible bank of knowledge about Counter-Strike and everything else that goes along with it. He is Gobbles, and he had school. Did you catch any of the games while you were in class?
I was watching the end of Nuke, right at the end. I was really just gritting my teeth every single round. I
Right?
don't know how exactly. You know, the best part of this was asking questions. They got the first 2 rounds in third overtime, right? But then proceeded to lose the remaining 4.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing if you're them. But then again, can that be the straw that breaks the camel's back? At least they've got the pistol now, so they can string a couple of rounds together.
Wow. Perhaps, but I see what you did there. Straw that breaks the camel's back. Nice. Okay.
I did not realize that.
Pun not even intended. Wow, this guy. Round of applause, guys. Anyway, they're going to be making their way on towards this ace site for now. I mean, it should be easy for asking questions. They have the firepower this time around, but I mean, shots like that from Davidoff, it's just it's just something of magic. Even looking for the last one, but runs out of ammo, swaps with the AK. Are you kidding me? This guy's just prepared for anything that comes his way, and just like that, bomb has been dropped. The jumping shot, thankfully, from Chocolate will be able to net him the kill as well as the sight. Back to a 2v2, but that came very close.
Yeah, playing tunnel. So this is one of the most standard after plant spots that you see coming from the T side. I think Camels have a good idea as well, right, Bosley? Swing around the corner, deletes Chocolate, and now I think is obvious. His position is way too obvious. They're gonna hunt him down, and Camels! Just as we spoke about the straw that perhaps actually broke the Camel's back, they answer back with a force buy. If you're asking questions, I do not want to be in that call right now.
Oh god. Well, what do you think it would sound like?
I think it's gonna be silent. Just plain silence. They had the man advantage, right? And well, what happened was the Deagle on that B side was just able to find a couple of frags that really shouldn't have been offered to him. I think the second player that tried to go onto B for the trade might have wanted to wait for his teammate. And mistakes like that, I think we've seen a solid game from asking questions so far this tournament. I was watching the first couple of maps against Sigma as well. They looked great, you know, early on Dust 2, right? But more so towards the end of the game. This time, they've already let the ball drop in the second round, and now as a result, they have to just go for a full Glock Eco.
Well, full Glock Eco, and it's going to be the spray with the AK from Adram, of course, and that's just how they close out the round. It's, I mean, what else do you expect once Camels have rifles?
Well, at least Awesome Questions have the AKs out now. I'm curious to see. I think previously against Sigma, YSK kind of played a pretty big role, looking out towards long. He was looking long very passively earlier on, right? But this time, asking questions a bit more aggressive towards this part of the map. Incendiary is good though, so whilst the players are out, both sides have to be incredibly careful. It will be Camels to lose the first engagement in the round.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because of death, but map control has been granted to asking questions. Yep.
A bit of map control, sure, but it seems like they're falling back anyway, and Misty 1 has pushed up into mid, gets vision over lower tunnels. I think they know that most of asking questions are up towards around, yep, suicide. He's going to find one headshot. That's not what I think asking questions wanted to pull off in this round. I mean, with long control, they could have pushed up, but instead they fell back. What do you think that is?
So once you have long control, the thing you have to try and make sure is that you're not getting flanked fast, right? Which is why Caramel threw the Xbox smoke. But look, they've been crunched down the middle, right? Misty able to pick up 2 straight down on the first player in suicide, and now they can just sit back and play for the retake.
Boy.
Pokemon just tapping through the
Oh
smoke.
my god.
Headshot on Chocolate as well. 2 on 4. This is not looking too good for asking questions. No more utility left. Camels, they can just throw bodies at the problem.
They can afford to, of course, but I don't think that that's what they will do. The way that Camels has been playing so far seems to be similar and on par to what asking questions does. I mean, just take a look at that. You might think it's throwing bodies, but they didn't lose a single player in that trade, right? They maybe except with the exception of one, but the flank coming in from long as well just means it's going to be a guaranteed win for Camels.
Well, yeah, there is a world, right, where the player at long dies as well. Then it's a 2-on-2. Then it becomes very scary for Camels. But I think they would have known that asking questions wouldn't have money for an op either way. But wow, the scout from YSK, I would have expected him to get Pokemon. Okay, through the smoke wallbang onto the head of Pokemon. Chocolate looking to double this man advantage now. Has to fall back. Instead, he's pushing the Molotov delete.
Oh my god!
Okay, he's in CT already. And so now they're gonna have to be side asking questions, switching up the tempo. And boy, are they in a good position for now.
Push the tempo, push the tempo. It's going to be Ezram and Buckley now trying to retake the site. They have the weapons, but can they actually do it? Seaweed has an M4A1S. Insanity has an AWP. I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Yeah, I don't think Camels go for this as well, right? You don't necessarily need to risk it, right? This is the grand finals, and with asking questions still hitting shots like that, Camels, you're gonna have to be a little bit careful, right? We talked about the ping, but that round, not just that, right? Chocolate, full props to him, right? Running in front of the incendiary that was deployed by the CT, something that perhaps you have to do at this point, right? After overtime, where players are clearly tired, right? Both these teams are playing the second best of 3 here today, asking questions a lot of maps. They went the full distance against Sigma, and now losing out in overtime, it has to be a bit deflating for them, right? You need someone like that. You need something out of essentially nothing, right? To give yourselves a bit of momentum and hope.
Honestly, after a round like that, I think for asking questions, yeah, tactical timer for Camels, right call here. I mean, they need to not let asking questions feel too comfortable, but that was an incredible win off the back of an eco. You go in with a scout, and YSK hitting nutty shots like that, especially through the smoke, something that he has done. He has been doing this all day. I mean, that is essentially like if this were Pokemon, a full revive, an HP potion to give you new life in this game. You might be feeling a bit tired, but after a win like that, I think they're more than ready to get going. And now 3 players in towards upper tunnels, 2 trying to gain some control over long. I think they just could find something. They get some information over by Cat at the very least. It seems like they're going to be a bit slower this time.
Yeah, is that the default? I think asking questions know that they've got better utility as well, right? You can see on the side of Camels, there's not a lot left. So Ince is being very passive about this. Gets the hits-up duel against Davidoff, making the mistake of offering himself up. And now the CTs, they have to re-aggress. They know the players in towards blue bin, and Misty will find the trade. The rest of the team now have to accelerate up towards his elbow position, but Bosley holding it down. Asking questions still intent on taking A, but there's 2 players on the other side. Oh dear.
Oh god. 2 players on the other side, and they are trying to gun them down. It's going to be Edram with the M4A4. Headshot to Chocolate, and now it's back to a 2v3. And of course, with the rotations, Pokemon already knows where they're going to be. Tries to get the wall bang onto the remaining player as well. But thankfully, Seaweed makes it away with 10 HP. Still, almost dead. And this dead man walking will run into the sights of Pokemon, who I guess catches him with the Pokeball. And then that's going to be the round. 4-2 now. And after just buying up the weapons, Camels they're coming back in. I mean, it's the same thing. You win one, I win another. Both teams equally have what it takes. And when it comes to this, it's the strats that I really want to see, because we know that fundamentally both teams have what are very solid. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't quite know what to make of that, right? Inns found the opener, and then, with the trade coming back in from Camels, you should have known that there was a flash as well as, players swinging, right? So that's an indication that there's two players there. Maybe it's a bit of, them feeling tired, right? So the comp necessarily isn't on point. But maybe it's also just a one-time mistake coming out from asking questions. Boost up from Edrum. A lot of, neat tricks coming out from the side of Camels, asking questions off guard, and this is their map pick, of course, and Davidoff finds another. It's off angle as well. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Now that changes things a little bit, right? So now if you're on site, you're gonna start to feel a little bit, under pressure from YSK. But he knows as well. This is what I like about the YSK lurk, is he knows often how much pressure to apply. Thing is though, now there's still a man down. Unless Camels give up the man advantage, it's still gonna be difficult for asking questions to recover, especially with Edrum looking as though he's just jiggling counters for now. Asking questions, two players up into it short, a player out mid, perhaps to try and sell a bit of a ruse, suggest the mid to beat, right? So this kill is gonna say a lot.
Yeah, well, I think that kill just meant that asking questions would probably lose this round unless Caramel has some magic caramel shots. Finds a wallbang headshot. Now we're down into a 1v2. Still, he picks up the AK, but has to make it quick. He needs to hide somewhere. He's going to try to use the box, but oh my god, that's just an easy shot for Edrum at that point.
Yeah. At least asking questions and keeping the rounds kind of close, right? You can see the money on the side of Camels is not going to be too comfortable yet. Asking questions, they've already proven that they themselves can make a round out of just pistols. So Camels, you're going to be perpetually living in fear, right? You're not going to think that you're going to have any free rounds coming your way, especially since money for asking questions is pretty decent, right? They can force up if they want. I don't think they'd want to do that. Probably just a couple of pistols. But yeah, first 7 rounds have already gone. We're reaching. In fact, we're going to tip past the halfway mark of this half.
Just about. But we do have a double op setup on the side of Camels. And along with it, I think a lot of map control as well. They kind of give up mid, which is fine. Of course, that is one of the places that Tees will definitely gain control of really quickly. But it's the one over by, B and A that really matter to me right now. Long, instantly gone. You try to push up it. YSK, I mean, he has been lurking around that position now. And then at this point, it's a little bit telegraphed. Camel's just looking to punish these readable plays. We're down to a 4v3. And somehow they actually managed to get the bomb up on the A site. I guess it came from short. But at this point, 2 people coming for CT, 2 from long. You have to be careful.
Yeah, it's a difficult reaching to the bomb stop planted for the player out in long, right? 2 players CT, 2 players long. It's quite difficult, especially when it's ins. Here's all this information. He's gonna take down Bosley, and so now Camels, the round has kind of tipped round its head. Pokemon, along with Davidoff, the AWP and the M4, so Pokemon has to take a lot of attention, finds a huge frag, but now Chocolate with the kill. Davidoff going for the quickly jump, will not do so. Chocolate just playing the time to perfection. Nice little 1v2, 4k in the round as well. Huge one from him, and I think so far in the game, he's been kind of a shining star for them.
Kind of, but a very much needed one. I'm about to get a heart attack. Oh my god.
But look at the cash, right? They've got 3 Galils this round. It's almost a worse buy than previous.
Almost, but I think okay, if they have layers on top of layers like what they just did earlier on, right? The fact that Insanity was kind of uh, lurking all the way at the back on top of YSK's earlier lurk. If he can do things like that, okay, I say that, and then Chocolate dies to a scout.
What?
Oh no,
They're crossing
no.
without any smokes. That's a little bit of a tough one, right? It's a bit of a head scratcher, and so now it's a 2-on-4. Yes, they do have the weapons advantage, but it's an M4 on the side of Adrum as well. This was the force buy. They picked up the AK as well. This is not looking good. Caramel will have to at least be good for a couple, right, to set Insanity up. Here they go.
Oh boy.
Oh
4v2, it has to ring true, but the shots will miss, and now it's all up to Caramel in this 1v4. He only has an op. This is not the best weapon to do against a 1v3 scenario, of course, Buckley. Ah, man, it's almost the same thing that we saw from Antrim earlier on. They walk forward, they know where you're going to be, instant headshot, 6-3 now. And honestly, Camels show no sign of slowing down.
And that was their economy at breaking point, right? Had they lost that, we would have likely been looking at a double equal, which means asking questions from potentially tying the score 5-5. They are staring down the barrel of going 4 rounds behind before they even get the rifles back out. Key swing rounds so far going in the favor of Camels, right? We talked about the second round forced by victory, and now another one with their economy at tipping point. So Camels certainly have had a bit of the rub of the green when it comes to the economy, and this is what you need on the CT side. He spots it.
Yeah. Okay, at least it pushes them back a bit. Kind of rendezvous around middle and perhaps make a push out mid to B, aided by the only flash that's left, Ins.
Well,
It's not the easiest thing in the world, yeah.
They found success of it to be earlier, right? Which is why they're going back in again, but with no smokes, it was always going to be difficult.
Very difficult, and I think one problem is starting to become clear. Either Pokemon, who has been known to be incredible, the way when he's positioned around middle, and he knows this map. He knows how to rotate. He knows the timings, which I think is one of the biggest key factors why Camels are winning so many rounds. Aside from that, the missing smokes, it allows for players like Misty 1 to punish them just so severely.
Yeah, so this is asking questions again on the default, right? Normally you would see YSK in towards long, you've got Insanity, you're just guarding tunnels, right? Meanwhile, the other 3 players working middle, but still, very crucially I feel, no AWP on the side of asking questions, right? Opting to go for a bit more utility. It's gonna be the A split, but YSK, yeah, the right eye peek walking out from Misty, still round the corner, Chocolate daringly going back in for the re-peek. The flash will come in from Caramel as well, but Camels, they want to fight this. They've got 3 players posted up in towards this position. Suggestion of a mid to B. Now the Molotov comes in. Misty, he's burning just a little bit. He's gonna go back in. He might just get him before they jump, yeah! And that's gonna be 2 kills for Misty.
What are they thinking? They kind of looked up at each other, but yeah.
They want to go for the run boost. Didn't work out.
It's not the best time to do a run boost when Misty is on a tear like this. I mean, that's 4 kills in this round for the guy, and of course, Pokemon, the other one to step up to the plate. These 2 players, Misty 1 and Pokemon, are starting to lead the scoreboard. I mean, of course, Adrum with 10 as well. You get the information that there is one opper on the other side of long, sure, but you have to think there might be more. Why set up a run boost at that time? It's a little bit risky, and of course, Misty just pushes up. You get caught off guard, like with your pants down. The score is 8-3 now, and it just doesn't look good for asking questions anymore, unfortunately.
I don't know what the telltale signs for Camels are, but they're certainly having the right reads, right? But Insanity with that kill gives them something to work with. That was until he got immediately traded by off, and the weapon's still irretrievable on that T side. They do have a scout to work with, but the nade's gonna be pretty decent, I think. Yeah, Seaweed tagged down to just 29. Silver lining is, if asking questions decide to go up short, they will at least get the bomb down. But the flank's going to be activated by Bosley very, very soon. So yes, you make it a bomb down. What's the next step, right? They still have to be very procedural with their clearing of the site. This is going to buy time for Camels to rotate, but they're being very slow about this, aren't they, the CT side?
Yeah, they know they have the gunpowder, so they are not afraid to take this full 4v4 retake head on. In fact, you might have thought Edrum would be the one to set up the flank. He's coming up around short, but now they're going in towards CT. 3 CT, 1 long, and they're going against Deagles. Unless they can connect on the side of asking questions, I don't see asking questions winning this round.
Oh, I think I do. I really think I do. Why? Because they're fighting all the headshots right now. Davidoff needs to take a lot of damage for his teammate, but he gets one as Bosley. Wow! How?
Buckley and Davidoff, man, they're just that good. That's why it's when it comes to fundamental plays, both teams are so evenly matched. Your mechanics are on point. YSK has been known to make crazy flicks and lurks. INS ins as well. Every single one in this server are that good. This is a true grand finals. And that just means to me that you have to be on par. Like your firepower, your buys, if you don't have it, you just don't stand a chance at winning the round unless you come up with a crazy strategy. And that just wasn't that crazy. They might have gotten the bomb down, but it was because Camels gave it to them. Camels, both sides, they have the strategies. It needs to be more of a good read from asking Q. And then maybe if they can take players like Misty 1 or Pokemon down, then they stand a better chance at taking a site.
Yeah, let's talk about minor margins for a second, right? In this round, Camels decided to stack 4 players towards long at the start of the round. Normally what you see is the CTs will smoke off middle, right? But it's a smoke that lands further behind. Instead, Camels, they threw the smoke that lands right in front of mid door, so even if asking questions were to pop up for a fast mid to B, they would have to think twice, considering what's behind the smoke. So that might just have netted them in the right positions, but the drop into CT for YSK will not work out. Now Pokemon on the swivel will get traded out, trying to go in for the mid to B now, asking questions, switching things up. They need to get across the sideline of Adram, because otherwise they will start falling. Chocolate, though, good kill. Trade for Davidoff, but ooh, he's good for 2, and Adram on the trade. Camels in all the right positions.
I got 2 words for you, Gobbles. No smoke.
But they kind of did with the CT smoke. I think the intention behind that was to make it look like a short set piece, right? Which is why you could see YSK coming out of the CT smoke on his own. It's just, I think by the time they tried to get up onto B, the smoke, yeah, it had already faded. They hadn't been able to get across. Now it's all in towards long. What do you reckon?
Well, let's see. They might be able to overrun Pokemon, but they're looking the wrong way, and unfortunately, the jump will not make it happen. It's going to be Seaweed who falls after as well, but INS, here he comes. He's going to find one more head, but then Buckley makes it an instant trade. Caramel and YSK now looking for this shot onto Pit. They get it. We're back into a 2v2. They already call the A site being clear. Do they know that Adram is below, though?
Yeah, it's a fast flank from Davidoff though as well, right? He's gonna be right on that tail. So with this flash, no, he's no flash even. M41S.
Oh, 1v2. He could still do it. I believe in Caramel. Falls all the way to the back. Around catwalk now. I mean, A short. They kind of know he's there. Spots the head out as well. Edram. Wow. What a jiggle.
Camels, they know everything, right? The nade was good for Caramel. I think he was working with what, about 70 points of health or around about 50. Gets taken down to just 29 after that AG. And Camels, they're just having all the right reads. I think that plays a huge part, right? And
yes,
is it asking questions being too readable? I don't necessarily think so as well.
Not
I just
quite.
think, yeah, it's just very good heads-up plays, especially in the mid-rounds coming from Camels, right? Always finding themselves in the right positions. Misty, one of the key, elements in that.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you do with asking questions?
And that's where strategy comes in. Either take out a couple players together, or if you can overwhelm one as like what they tried to do against Pokemon in A Long Pit. If it would have worked out, I think they stand a much better chance. Of course, there is a universe where that actually worked, and we will be in it and 10-4 now. But of course, this is not that world. They're still at a 5v5. and they are trying to find their way onto sites. But look at how Camels have themselves positioned. No one on site, lull them in a false sense of security. They have players by car and long.
Yeah, so this is the trademark YSK look, right? Knowing that his teammates have the site, he doesn't need to push out too early. At the same time, Barkley has an inkling as to what's going on. Seaweed's still holding on towards Xbox, so this retake is going to be a bit difficult for Camels. Key thing though, only when one player falls, that's when YSK is going to activate, right? And now Barkley slowly inching away. Always scared of YSK, nothing been given up by asking questions until now.
YSK, now or never. He has to go in. It's going to be Caramel who tries to delay it while YSK makes the push forward. There we go. A couple of taps. He finds one. And all that's left are two more players. Bakali, last guy on the site, and Seaweed, with a bit of a Ferrari peak, finds the headshot. 11-4. That's the end of the first half. But Asking Q starting to come back into their own after losing 6 rounds in a row. Not the worst. This is still doable. This is Asking Questions map pick. But a bit of background. So early on in the day, Asking Questions did play this map. Okay, while there's a tactical timeout from Camels, Asking Questions did pick this map against Sigma as well. I think this is starting to become one of their favorite maps. They keep picking it repeatedly. But again, it's a map that I think we've discussed this before, can be aim heavy. Your strats, unless they are really solid, there are gaps that can be exploited. In the match against Sigma, they won, but it was very close, 16-14. Now against Camels, which is a completely different team, right? Sigma, they tend to be very aggressive. They have their own spicy Thai style, if you want to call it that. But it's just a different team. Camels, at least according to HLTV, they've played this map once under the team name Divine Vendetta. They played against a team called Yala, and they won 16-14. So I definitely think Camels, they're a team that has a lot of experience. Someone in the chat pointed out that they actually keep changing their roster up here and there. YSK is going to find one. They have the potential to close it out entirely, but I want to believe in Asking Q.
Yeah. Well, we certainly do. And the thing is, though, Chocolate, he will have to be in for a big one, right? So, looks as though they want to just swing this dry, right? Just throw bodies at the problem, and Camels just asking questions. In fact, they're slowly backing off. Why? Because they couldn't afford to lose all those players. Pokemon just deletes 2 out of nowhere, and from a 5-on-4, it's now 2-on-4.
That's not good.
I think that in itself is an understatement. It's a near tragedy at this point, right? Pokemon's still jiggling. A third!
Oh
That's his third bullet fight in the round, isn't it? Seaweed able to find one. But yet again, Camels, they look different.
I think Asking Questions are the ones that look different. The ones that look different, sorry. On the CT side, yes. YSK might have been the one to find the first frag, but the rest of the squad are, I don't know, a little bit more tired. I don't see any more impressive positioning or lurks from the rest of the team. It's been a long day, and the sun is setting. Asking Questions now, looking to try to find anything, but at this point, they're just feeding into Camels. I mean, look. 1 kill, and Misty One already knows to reposition himself and gets yet another. Edrum, of course, at this point, they get information that the remaining 2 players are on Cat. It's just a matter of time before everyone drops dead. 13-4.
The guns will come out for Asking Questions. So this is kind of the all-in. You lose this, you take an eco, it's already 15, right? So they've gone for the full investment into this, right? Just USPs in a round prior, so Camels, the thing is they kept it clean as well, right? But Asking Questions, if you lose this, then I don't know how they're going to recover it anymore. Fast plan from Camels, right? 4 inputs tunnels, a player coming out from middle. It's gonna be a very straight up B execute, right? Smoke for the door, flashes out, and this is when Chocolate and Seaweed will have to do a lot.
Oh, well, a bit of a missed flash, perhaps? Or was that intentional? Either way, it sounds off as smoke, and now they cannot pull off that rush anymore.
No.
Regardless, wow, Edgerim just instantly gets traded. Thankfully, YSK is there to save the day.
Yeah, oh,
And
jumping in
now-
front of the smoke. Wow!
Oh my god.
It's round over.
Possibly, but this is what I like to see from asking questions. They are not giving up yet. They might have had a long day. They might be coming into this off of a 2 overtime loss, but they are still fighting, and they are still alive, and they're going to hold on to their weapons and carry them forward into the next round. This might be 14-4, but it's not game over yet.
They have to as well, right? They've been completely locked out, right? The smoke just, what, half a second too late? Again, very small margins, right? And, that little bit of a difference, right? Had the smoke bloomed slightly earlier, Camels, you would have thought twice before going out. But instead, by the time it was deployed, the first player was already out, and you credit the shot, because that was... You don't see those every day, right? Jumping out of tunnels and straight away a headshot onto the player at the back platform. But it sums up the game, so far at least, pretty well. Asking questions they have to just go for another half buy.
Well, a half buy, and let's see if it actually works.
But they have to save weapons at least. YSK needs to clear the blue bin. He has the first teammate in front, and it's only for the trade, and yes, nice flick. So that's the man advantage they've needed for a long time. He's gonna push in front of it as well, isn't he? No, he's not. Thinks better of it.
Okay, doesn't have to. In fact, use the molly to clear it out. Afterwards, then perhaps he could push in. But for now, it's back into a 4v3. There are weapons on the ground. Perhaps someone could maybe come over and retrieve them. Maybe not. The 3 remaining players on the side of Camels, though, possibly setting up a B split push.
Yeah, and
Are the players ready?
The beginning right side, it's only pistols on this B side. Players are out middle. Asking questions, you need to begin to rotate very quickly because there's no way a P250 and a CZ can hold on.
I think the CZ potentially could if he spots Misty out somehow. But there we go, it starts things off, and oh no, not like this.
It's perfect from Camels, right? Just waiting and waiting, right? Just buying space for each other, and now Inns is not even going to be able to save. They know where YSK was, right? He opened the round up with 2 kills at long. Yes, one of his teammates fell, but they had a 4-on-3 advantage, asking questions. They gambled, right? The 2 pistols into his B, we talked about this, and then the player out from tunnels as well. A lot of discipline, right? Not creeping out too early, waiting for the smoke to fade, and then wow, are they really gonna get him?
He is down to 68, and at this point, he's basically pinned down. Only the thing that stands between him and the Camels assassins is that one little car. He's not budging, but, well, I guess he kind of stayed hidden. 15-4, though, and this is match point. This is the second map. And just to be fair, again, Camels, United Arab Emirates, asking questions, I guess, from several places in Southeast Asia. There's a huge ping difference, and I think that could be one of the reasons why.
Yeah. It sucks for everyone, right? Well,
yeah.
We've seen these players that land out with a difference, but now they're going out into its B, finding chocolate as well. The grenade does a lot of damage, and Seaweed will be good for the trade. Right, Misty will get the bomb down, but after Camels have the 2-man advantage. Still a play out in middle as well.
One coming up by the window though, and he's trying to make it quick. It's going to be YSK doesn't know that Misty is right by the other side, and all that's left is Caramel. One more headshot, 16-4. They tried their darndest, but at last, it's going to be Camels with the win, and of course, rather deservingly too. I mean, let's not discredit them. Pokemon was such an incredible player. Each and every single one of them stepped up to the plate, and they had great reads, right?